If you think lane splitting is crazy, you're wrong. It's actually the safest way to ride on a freeway. You have to know how to do it correctly though. You basically are using the cars against themselves, so you always try to be in between two cars so that if someone hits you, they have to hit a car as well. You ride as if you're completely invisible. And then when you can't do this, like this car to my left, I'm looking for my exit route. So I know I have an exit route to my right there, or I have this lane split right here as an exit route. Right here, I slow down for a little bit till the cars even out, and then I go for it. Being alongside a truck is actually really safe, even though it looks the most dangerous. But they're the most visible things on the road, so you know that they can see the truck even if they don't see you. So right here is a little dangerous because of that white car, so I look for the exit route and then I come right back in. I find that LA and California in general are the safest places to ride, and the reason is because cars are just much more aware of motorcycles here. You know, it's the birthplace of American motorcycle culture. San Francisco was, but I mean California in general. So I have to head to the convention center to see my friend, but instead of heading directly there, I'm going to go ahead and take Broadway just so you can see Broadway in downtown LA. So LA was basically founded by a family called the Chandlers. They came here and realized that it was such great weather that if they built a city here, people would come. And downtown was mimicked after New York City. They wanted it to be this cosmopolitan city. So they made Broadway, and Broadway obviously is where all the theaters are. We got Union Station to the left, and then turning into downtown right here. The core of downtown was never torn down. People actually moved out so quickly there was no reason to create new urbanism here. So the core of downtown is still basically what it was in the 20s. Oh, City Hall right there. One of the more iconic city halls. I'm actually not the biggest fan of the architecture. My two favorite city halls would be Philadelphia and San Francisco. And if you live in San Francisco and have never gone to the City Hall, go inside, it's amazing. There's the old LA Times building right there. Building another metro station. If I were to take a left right here, we'd hit Little Tokyo, which is a fun little section of downtown. It's the Bradbury Building right there. It has one of the more famous interiors of any building. It's used in films all the time. It was the interior for Blade Runner. What was it, 400 Days of Summer? What was in that movie, 100 Days of Summer? It was the office they worked at. From the outside, it looks very normal. The inside is a courtyard with probably the most beautiful stairs and elevator system I've ever seen. Here's the World Market to your right. It's kind of like a giant farmer's market. So a lot of these buildings are old movie theaters, but back when movies were more similar to like Broadway theaters, where they had giant auditoriums to watch movies. Most of them were built in the 20s. They were owned by the studios, like there's the Warner Brothers Theater, the Fox Theater. So you can tell these are old theaters. Hence Broadway. This building's really cool. It's called the Arcade. The Palace Theater, the Los Angeles Theater. This is now actually the jewelry district of Los Angeles. And it's it's definitely one of the more unique places in Los Angeles, because I know of only a few cities that have a jewelry district like this. Basically different jewelers rent out stands, and so they'll just be like a giant warehouse full of jewelers, full of like really expensive jewelry that you can buy at wholesale prices. This is Clifton's right here. Clifton's is a cafeteria that was very big among early science fiction writers. The guy who owned Clifton's, he was a very, very Christian man, and if you couldn't afford a meal, he would say, pay what you can afford. So a lot of early writers would go here to eat and just pay what they could afford. I know Heinlein was one of the big writers there. They on the second floor, they have photographs of a lot of the writers who wrote here. Really, really fun restaurant. It's designed to look like a national park. More theaters. Oh, up here we have the Apple Tower. Apple redid this building. Well, it opened last year. It took them 7 years to renovate this building. Again, done in an old theater. They did a phenomenal, phenomenal job. It is the best remodel I've ever seen. I would normally lane split here, but I want to get close to the Apple Tower so you can see it. Yeah, this is probably not what most people think of when they think of Los Angeles. Most people do not think of downtown Los Angeles because it's just not really the place people go. People come to Los Angeles for the hills and for the... Sorry, people come to Los Angeles for the hills and the oceans and Hollywood and Santa Monica and West LA. Look at that. What a building. What a building. I wonder if I can get up close to it over here. Oh yeah, here we go. I should have done this from the start. Look at that building. This blue building up here is the Eastern Building. Johnny Depp used to own this building, and if you followed the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing, they lived on the top floor up there. Very pretty building. Alright, not in a million years would I take this route to get to the convention center, so I gotta figure out where I am right now. What is this on the right? This is beautiful. I have no clue what this is. There's an ASU flag, Arizona State University. That's so strange. Huh. The Cecil Hotel is right down the street from here. Infamous for that girl dying in the water tank. And the Fashion District is to my left. I'm so curious about this building. It looks like new construction. I'm not familiar with it at all. Okay, so I know these skyscrapers right here that are going up are near the convention center, so I have to be close to the convention center. This entire city feels like it's under construction right now. So many people are moving into the core of LA right now. People think Los Angeles is losing population, and the metropolitan area is, but what's happening is people are moving out of the suburbs and out of the inner suburbs into the city core, especially Gen Z. And I'm really curious what Gen Z is going to do with this city. The millennials like absolutely remade Los Angeles, especially the urban sections of Los Angeles. Oh, I think the convention center is straight ahead. We got some 5/1 architecture right here. 5/1 is probably my least favorite architecture on the planet. It's overtaking America. It's the reason why all apartment structures are starting to look the same. They're really nice on the inside. The actual residents are super, super nice. But from the outside, they're just so bland and boring. Of course they all have a Starbucks. Okay, I see the Microsoft Center. I know the Microsoft Center is right next to the convention center. There's the ESPN zone. Wow, look at these buildings. Really unique architecture. I am so curious what those are going to look like. Those wingspans, I mean, it almost looks like an aircraft. Really cool architecture. Alright, let's see if I can do it. Can I find the convention center? If you're watching this video and you just see a cut, it's probably cutting right here, so I don't have to wait for this, the longest red light in the history of mankind. I mean, unless you're enjoying this, enjoying just staring at the Microsoft Center while cars go by. Okay, what the hell is going on? I should have read that a long time ago. The new Chase building, really beautiful. Alright, so we have found the convention center, and now the goal is to find street parking for the motorcycle, because I do not feel like paying $40 to say hi to someone.